Hey everyone, this is a tutorial on how to deploy to the bare metal server, something like Linode, AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. That's what a bare metal deployment is. It's a real server, a real server rack. This is going to be a very long video. Believe it or not, we need to buy a domain name. We need to set the records for that domain. We need to open up a Linode node, or it's like an AWS server, and we're going to have to SSH into that. So I'm going to walk you through the whole process. You're going to watch me deal with a lot of errors and anything that can go wrong. So this is just to document all those essential steps. And then in future videos, I think we can automate these deployment steps and use a GitLab flow hook, a webhook, basically to automate that, because now they have that. So I just want to talk about this. So in software development, you develop your code, you test it, release it, and then deploy. This is DevOps. And where we're at now is we're deploying it. So I followed the Redwood JS tutorial, and now we're going to deploy our app. I'm skipping testing because this is really one of my first apps with Redwood. Um, Surprisingly, I'm not big on testing, but it's just one of those things where I think every developer has to work on and get to it. But deploying a web app is probably the most challenging, time consuming part of any developer's experience, for me, anyways. So I'm going to take you through that. So here, we're going to deploy a webhook with GitHub, or just get clone. That's what I'm really going to do. And then the internet, or your user should be able to access our Linode server via Nginx. And our, I mislabeled this, but our Redwood app will be port forward through the Nginx configuration file. And we probably have to do something on port 80. So yeah, that's it. This is kind of what the architecture is going to look like. And then there's be some improvements on this image to describe it properly, but we're going to get through all the steps. Redwood provides a lot of other nice stuff like rollback sequences, maintenance page, and monitoring with PW2. Um, I think a lot of the features are still in development, so I won't be covering those, but just for your awareness, that's there. So let's get started. So this is my web app. We have a login, we have blog, contact us. These are some other things I'm working on, like 3D renderer and this app, but I've turned it off because I don't want my user to actually interact with this, because it would require a lot of hiccups. But anyways, this is a fully functioning app. I'm logged into it, and there's role-based access into it. So we're going to try to get this deployed. So let me get my script up. All right. So our first step is to deploy our Linode server. So I will be logging in and blocking the IP address on the video. I don't really want anyone hacking it, but you're going to have to just follow these steps. So we're going to create a Linode, and I want a Ubuntu server for Ubuntu 20. And then the region will be New Jersey. And then, oh, they upped their prices here. We're going to go with the shared CPU, maybe $10 a month. That should be all right. There's some issues with shared CPUs, but has plenty of storage, and RAM's not the worst. This isn't a crazy app. If you want something decent, I think $20 a month is fine. So, all right, we're going to give this a tag. We're just going to say Redwood, and then Redwood Ubuntu East, and then my password will be here. So I'm going to grab that. I edit this out. Okay. And then we are going to create a Linode. Okay, perfect. So here in my terminal, we're going to SSH into the Linode. So I'm going to copy my IP address. I'm going to type SSH root at the IP address. Our Linode server is still booting, so this might take a little bit here. We'll try it again. Connection timed out. Connection timed out. This is not working. Let's try this again. There we go. Yes. All right, now we need the password. So the password that you set for the server at that one spot a few seconds ago, we're going to just paste that in. Didn't like it. There we go. Pasted it in. And now we are in the server. So if we clear this terminal, we can ls to list everything out, or you can back up. Now this is kind of our root folder. We're going to be working in the var ww. It's, I have that right. I think it's not. Just double checking. I see. Okay, we're going to have to make that folder. All right, so we'll come right back to the terminal. So now that we have our IP address, we're going to buy a domain. I've already bought the domain. Okay. So our next step is to buy a domain. So I've already bought the domain, so we're going to go Google domains.com. Here, domains.google. You're going to log in, create an account. You're going to go to My Domains in the upper right. And these are some of the domains that I own. I already bought the domain called hamletgame.com. So what we're going to do here is actually take our IP address and go to DNS. So our host name is going to be hamletgame.com. We're going to create an A record, and then we're going to put the IP address in. Save. All right. So if you need other domains, which you need the www, HTTPS, you can create more records. So like this, save, manage custom records, create a new record. There we go. So here, if I want www.hamletgame.com, select A, I just throw it in here. So right here, where I've blurred it out, is the IP address. Again, we can just do it, create another record. So if I want ip.hamletgame.com, it'll show up right there. And we can even use different IP addresses over here. For now, it's fine. Redwood is supposed to work horizontally. What that means is that Redwood wouldn't, the back end or the API would be deployed on a separate server via its deployment configuration. But for now, we're going to do a full stack deployment instead of horizontal deployment. So we're just going to get rid of that. So we save the record. We, I blurred out the IP address, but your 4-numbered IP address would go in here. So I'm glad that's done. It's going to take 24 hours to get that set up for the DNS to propagate. Now the next step is that in our Linode server, we need to create record domains for the Linode. So we're going to go to the domain section here and create a domain. And we need to go grab the domain that I just created. Let's put this in this tab. All right, so I made this domain. Right, and then my email address going here. Yeah. So you want to insert default records from one of my Linodes, and that would be the Redwood Ubuntu East. Create the domain. Great. So what that does is that it's going to set up Linode's own DNS register and take those records and point it towards our domain name. And that will take 24 hours to propagate. We'll use the IP address to access the website for now. So it goes ahead and it creates all these domain names for us. Anyways, I think we have to edit these manually, so I'm going to just double check. No. Yeah, no, it automatically puts it here. So the IP address shows up right here and IP6 shows up. So we're good. But that will all be blocked out on the video. All right, so glad that's done. That's going to take 24 hours to propagate. You might be wondering, oh, is this working correctly? Domain names and stuff, it's going to take a while to debug, things like that. So glad that is done. Now we're going to go back to SSHing into the server. So here we are, we're in it. We're going to do sudo apt. We actually don't need sudo because we're root, so we just need to apt get update. Then we're going to apt get upgrade. That takes the packages we just downloaded them. Hit yes. Okay. Okay, so that is done. Now we need to git clone our repo. So I'm going to go to GitHub. If this is a public repo, you'll have a lot easier time getting this set up, but a lot of times your projects are private, so I'm going to show you the private project for this. So with private projects, you can't really just git clone. they'll require you to log in. So my username, and then instead of a password, you're going to have to use something called, if I go to my GitHub profile, right, you'll have to go to settings and then developer settings. And then here is something called personal access tokens. Basically, you have to create a token, and then that token becomes your password for this. So off screen, I've already copied and pasted the token, and I'll be using it to git clone my repo. There, it worked. So you're not using your GitHub password anymore. GitHub forces you to use personal access tokens, and that's how you would do that. So if we list out the directory, Hamlet is right there, so that's good to go. So we tested that, that works. All right, so after you git clone your repo, we need to make basically the folder where the application will live. So following the docs, we have to make a directory -p/var. I think we could leave that out. And then the name of your directory. So for this, it's going to be Hamlets. We just need to create this www directory. So we're going to remove the repo I just created. Okay, if we go to file exists. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Okay, I created it out on the outside. Okay, we're going to redo that. We're just going to remove this. All right, so we're going to take the command here, and we're just going to, so we're going to create a folder called www inside of var. That's what we're going to do. So we just want to check that it will be there. All right, it's there. So now inside of the www, we're going to github clone, git clone our repo again, because that was just a test in the beginning to see that it will work. Right, Grizzly Bear, your username would go here. Then I would just take my password. All right, there we are. So now that works, we need to give permissions to the folder. So what that means is that our Hamlets folder here should be, I use this capital H. That would be our user. So that would not work. So the doc should have done something like this. All right. Let's do that. Okay. So if you follow that command right there, we're going to have to do that again after ran yarn build. So this folder called, I think it stands for distribution, it simply is auto-generated when you yarn build Redwood. So chow just gives us the ability to read right off of that. There's some more command list stuff we can do based off some DigitalOcean. So Hamlet again, just to make sure. Okay, so I think the user should have read-write access there. So now we're going to install Node.js, because to build Redwood, you're going to need Node.js, and you're going to have to install yarn. 2. I just want to get the right command. Right, that should be good. So now we should have node install. Let's just check. All right, we have version 10, which is concerning because I think we wanted 14 npm not found. Node.js install latest 2.2. Let's get oh, I see. I installed Node.js. Because I'm pretty sure we need node 14 to 16, and it just gave us node 10, so I just want to check if that's right. Ubuntu latest node installation. Yeah, I think we need to uninstall that. That is not going to work. All right, we're going to paste in this command, and I'll link it below, is that we need to get the exact package for node like this, and then install it. Yeah, and then we run apt-get install. Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to check the version again. Okay, now we're on version 16, so Redwood has to work on that. These are the little things that we have to watch out for, or we'd be just pulling our hair out. So we just need to make sure that is installed correctly. Okay, so let's see. Does npm work right now? Yeah, it works. So npm install yarn. All right, so now we're going to type in npm install -- global yarn. That should work. No, that's fine. So let's just see if yarn is the right version. That's right. Okay. Clear the terminal. So that's one big thing off of our list there. Our next step will be installing Nginx. So we're going to apt-get install Nginx. And then we're going to affect UFW. So this is Ubuntu's firewall. And we're going to have app list, so available applications, Nginx, OpenSSH. We're going to allow Nginx HTTP. Oh, sorry, this is from a bullet point list. And then we're going to then do UF status to check it. It's not enabled, so basically we need to enable. This might kick us out if we enable this. And yes. right, so I'm good. So it didn't disrupt my SSH. So when you put a firewall up like that, and maybe you change the port access, so SSH accesses port 22 on a server, right? So if you activate the firewall and you just block port 22, guess what? You're not getting in. It kicks you off. So now that's done. We're going to sudo start nginx, and then we're going to test the IP address. All right, and we can sudo. Oh yeah, I need a sudo because we're still root. Status nginx. Okay, nginx is running. So we're going to just check that nginx is working with our IP address. So we're going to go back. Too many tabs. Open. We gotta close this tab. We docs ourselves. All right. So copy the IP address. All right. So that's a success. We got our Linode server up. We got nginx running. Now we need to point nginx to the folder containing the served files of Redwood.js. Hopefully that will make sense to you one day. Because it was very confusing to learn on my own. So yeah, I'm even wondering if the address is working. Probably not. It's like I said, domain names will take 24 hours to propagate. Okay, proved me wrong completely. It's working here. This is kind of a teaching moment too, is that we don't have SSL installed. So when I go to, let's say wired.com. So if you look in the upper left here, we have a secured connection right here, and it uses a SSL certificate from their server. Here, it's not built in. I think this will be for another video, because installing SSL is kind of a process and there's a lot of steps to it, and this video is going to be long enough. Just tell me if you want it in the comments. But for now, let's get this deployed. Okay, so now back to our script. All right, so we're going to back out of this directory. All right. List out, and then we're going to go into, I think, etc. here, and then check out nginx folders, and then we're going to go to sites enabled. So what happens is that nginx as a software is a reverse proxy server, and it reads a list. Basically, it's this config file called default, so I'm just going to cat this out so you can read it. It's basically, you can have blocks of code called server blocks here, so server parentheses and these parameters inside. And what is happening in here is that you say, okay, listen on port 80, hit this server with this IP address, here's the SSL. What you need to understand is that this is a list of commands for the software nginx to take web requests from the internet and point them towards your server. This helps with balance loading. You know, if you have thousands of requests hitting your server, nginx is kind of the software that's used on bare metal a lot to handle that logic. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to replace the default. You can find the default online, but I'm just going to remove it. And this will end up breaking nginx when I do this. So I'm going to create a new default called, we're going to just call it default again. It's the best thing we can do. Oh, didn't delete it, did it? No, okay, it did. Okay, we're going to create a new default. Okay, and then we're going to paste in the same commands. All right. So, like I explained, Nginx will listen on port 80. I don't know what this means. It's going to check the root var folder. This needs to be capitalized because our repo was capitalized when we made the folder. And then I think it's going to check for index HTML in this distribution folder. So it has these variations that it's looking for. And then the server name is just going to be your domain. So you're going to write in your domain here for this command, right? Because my domain is hamletgame.com, which is completely fine. Oh, no, that's spelled wrong. So I'm glad I double checked this now. Typed in helmet. Very silly. There we go. So we corrected that. That's my domain. And then it'll check other locations like try these URLs. So for 401 pages. Okay. Now we're going to restart Nginx. We're going to have to do system cpl restart Nginx. Status Nginx. Okay. We restarted it. So I think it's still working. We're going to check it again. No, site cannot be reached. So the server is definitely down. We might have to do a test. Nginx. Yes. All right. So -t config. So that's good. We're going to nano into this just to check. Next. Still think it's working correctly, or should be. Oh, wait a minute. Nothing's there. Oh, sites available. I see. Okay, that explains a lot. Okay. Okay, so we need to put that back in. Deleted. So fail to create symbolic link. Okay, now the symbolic link is enabled. So cat default. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, so we're going to do that again. And we're going to go to sites available. Then we're going to remove default, I'm pretty sure, here. Okay. I think it's best that we just edit default. Let's check the server one more time. Refresh. Nothing. Net. Tests. Okay, let's do this again. And look at the script. Hamlet. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to remove default here. And then refresh Nginx. So it does need to just stay the same name, I think. Going to rename this. Default. Yep, different name. It's defaults. All right. Now status. Restart. Status. All right, there we go. So now it should be back. Yeah, there we go. So finally, we're going to edit this. Don't do this. Just you're going to sudo nano default, and then you're going to chuck in this code right here with your domain name. That's what you need to do. So I'm going to re-edit that part. Yeah. So there we go. Now we need to go to nano. So what you're looking for is a 404. Because we don't have Redwood set up yet, we're just going to have a 404 page right here. So now we need to edit the config file and go down to server names hash bucket. there's some sort of issue with the hash bucket, and they always ask you to edit in the docs. So this is just to probably teach you like, oh, there's a config file and how we handle web requesting. Think, where is it? Did I miss it? Oh, I see. They want us to add it manually. So something, oh, so something like here, I think. Oh, there it is. Hash bucket size. So it's commented out. Okay, perfect. Yes. All right, so that's changed. Let's restart. Then check the status. Status is good. And now just do another test again. It says everything's good. And now that's it. So that's setting up Nginx. Now we need to set up the Postgres server. You can see how very long this takes. Okay. So you're going to type in this command, apt-get install Postgres, Postgres contrib. Yes. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to start the service. Oh, there's a bullet point in the way. We can check its status. All right, status is good. We're going to now make a user. So you can call your user whatever you want. So -u Postgres. I'm going to leave it as Postgres for now. And then what we're going to do is create my database. So we need the password. Sorry. So when we make a user, it's going to use the password for your Linode server. So just try to remember that. Write that down. Oh, okay. So how to set Postgres username. All right, so user Postgres, Postgres alter password, Postgres. Yeah. Password. Oh, the username is Postgres itself. So I'm going to cut this part out and just prove that it's Postgres here. Really? Okay. Interesting. Maybe we have to set the password separately. Huh. I'm going to rewrite these docs because this makes no sense. So hopefully, oh, So we're going to install Postgres, start it. You can check its status from there if you want to see if it's working. We're going to think create a user, to be honest with you, but there, oh, no. And then we want to create a database. So the way I want to check that changed. Quit. Postgres localhost 12. Okay. Maybe you have to exit. So Postgres is its own server. I dash u Postgres. Peer authentication failed. Ugh. Connection timed out. Interesting. All right. What the? Ugh. Jesus. Oh, come on. Seriously? Good fucking lord. Jesus. Oh my god. Um, the fuck? Node SSH. And now it's I think I have to reboot it. I mean, it just makes no sense. Oh my God, copy and paste. Good Lord. What? Up. Okay, I don't. Okay. All right. I don't know what. Ugh. Yeah, I would love to. Paste. Okay, so future me will edit this part in. So basically, what happened is that I kicked myself out of the server. Don't do this. So in the instructions, we're going to fix this. Is that you're going to allow SSH. It kind of SSH back in because when I checked the firewall of the server with UFW status, SSH wasn't there. And then if I check again, now the port 22 was activated. So don't do that. You will be wasting a lot of time like I just did. So we're going to exit out of that and we're going to SSH back into our computer. All right, we're in. So where we left off at was Postgres. So to just restart again is that we need to install Postgres for Redwood JS to work. So you install Postgres like this, sudo app get install Postgres. It's already installed and it will tell us that. And then you start the service like this, sudo systemctl start. We can also check its status. It's live. And now we're going to create a user and access Postgres. All right, so we're in Postgres now. So now we're going to create an interactive user. There we go. You could just do that in command line. We can create our database now. Hamlet EB. Perfect. So my concern is the password setting, because it did not ask me to set the password. So Postgres, I learn how to set a password on Postgres. Set password Postgres Ubuntu, because we don't want to waste time otherwise. So we're logged in already, so we want to alter Postgres with password, and we're going to do it my new password here. Oh, it seems to have completely pasted in from. I can paste 3 times apparently. Okay. Altered. So that's what I want to see. Want to alter the role. I'm going to change the password. So we're going to edit that out. We're going to put a randomly generated password. Okay. And off screen, I'm going to paste that in. Alter the role. Hamlet, Postgres, password. All right, we got it. So we'll need that password again to access the server through Redwood. All right, so here we are. All right, so what we actually did was that we don't care about that. And if we ever need to change the password, we want to use this command. All right, copy that. There we go. So you follow these steps to set up the database. I think this is the most essential step, to be honest, is that you set up your environmental variable and your well, this is your schema .prisma, so it should be set up like that, but we need to change the database URL. So here we need to change the URL in the DLN. All right, now we're going to install the monitoring software. So we're going to put out a Postgres /quit. There we go. And what are we looking at here? All right, we're good. So let's do this global install. So npm install pm2-g. So I'm going to try my best, my utmost best to follow these instructions appropriately. So Redwood, when you install on bare metal, you need to do -- first run. This is going to do a lot of setup. So if we go to first deployment, it's going to handle creating deploy.tom, which I don't know what that is, but it's like YAML. So I think Tom's obvious minimal language. Oh, so this is, yeah, the guy who made Redwood JS. This is what's this guy's name again? Tom Preston Weiner. Yeah. this guy, he made this language code, I guess, to make it easier to run. So we're going to give that a shot. We should actually do it in the folder that we installed, Redwood.js. So let's go Hamlet, and then Redwood first production. Couldn't find modules, so yarn install. Do that. Which they did not put in the docs. So don't forget to yarn install, kids. Yarn install. So my understanding is that when we do, while this installs, when we do first run, we're going to create some sort of symbiotic symlink. It's called, sorry, not symbiotic, symlink between .env current and the current deployment, so we can do rollbacks and everything too. So it has like a form of memory, I guess. So this is what we'll do, is that it'll git clone symlink latest deployment, share.env, install, run Prisma, generate Prisma, run data migration. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and things like that. So we'll see. So if we do the first run, we'll get PM start save. So that should work correctly. I think we should run this step next. Is the app setup. Okay, so that's ran successfully. So we're going to do now we're going to do yarn rw deploy bare metal production -- first run. Did not work. Could not find module SS. All right. What is this about? All right, we're going to look up what this package is. So ant node h, go here. Screaming like promise wrapper yarn add SSH solution step. All right. So I think that solves that problem, hopefully. No such file open -tom deploy. You know, that's correct, right? Why did we put it in this order, you know? So I guess we got to do this step first. So we got to install node.ss yarn add. That was missing, and then we gotta do that. Maybe it didn't want that. It just, we'll remove it. I've never, honestly, I'm just going to screenshot this. Okay, maybe it will install it itself and then it will work correctly. Oh, all right. So that's the success screen that we're looking for. Just screenshot that for the docs. So that's looking for that. All right. So that's good to go. So now I think we're able to go our first bare metal run. Go to the web. App setup. So I think we need to update the port on the TLM file. So we're going to do that before I do this. Okay. What is up? Okay. You say we can oh, Redwood. Well, where is this file located then? That makes no sense. We're going to have to point that somewhere else. Um, I mean, is that in there though? I mean, that eco, that's in there. So I think it should be okay. It's probably not going to work. So we need to cat out deploy time. Does everything look correct here? Oh, that looks, yeah, we gotta edit that. So we need to edit this. Our host name is hamletgame.com. And then our path should be hamlet, yarn, true, username. Good lord, we didn't make a user. All right, and then we need the repo. I think that should be all right. So deploy time contains server config for knowing which machine. I don't think that will work. All right. Okay, we're going to add a user, call him Grizzly Bear. That's good enough. And new password. All right, we're there. All right, so we're going to sudo. We just can do Grizzly Bear. Grizzly Bear. For www Hamlet and not found. Oh, we didn't even give it a minute. Okay, so he has the permissions now, that user, me, that password. That should be good. The deployment process uses non-interactive. I don't understand exactly what the issue is here. But yeah. All right, let's run it. That okay. Oh, that didn't work. What the hell is this doing? Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. So, yeah. All right, so now we have the deploy here. Okay, so Uh, So, my understanding is right. On your development environment, you'll run a script called yarn redwood deploy bare metal production dash dash first. And it's going to go through all these steps: installing Prisma, migration, building. But before that, to even do that, you need to set up your deploy file. So if you want to do from your local development server onto a deployed server, you need to set up your deploy and it generates these two files, right? And basically, I had to edit this file to SSH in my server, git clone the code, which it failed because it could not find package.json in the home folder. So that doesn't seem to work correctly. I don't know the logic behind that, but just do the steps manually because, yeah, otherwise I don't know how to solve this. Do these steps manually. And so we built it. Okay. So we're going to, don't know what that does. So I got a bunch of files that we built. Linode, we're going to log into Linode again. And it works. Holy shit. Hamlet.game.com. Not secure, but here we are. Blog doesn't work. Failed to execute. Fetch on window invalid. Maybe post an article. You need to sign up. So Leslie. Gmail.com. Logging in doesn't work. I don't know if the API is working. That's kind of the problem. I think this is the issue. My yarn build again. So we have it deployed, which is a great sign. I mean, it's on this IP address and it works on my domain name. Oh, now it crashed. Hold on. There we go. But the problem is now we're not getting a token at all. Now, do you see that? Hmm. Method get token. Hmm. Oh, we're gonna have to debug this. Method get token. So is it failing on my live server? Yes. That, what does that mean? I mean, we're gonna have to go to the Discord. Fucking. Um, we have to go look at the code. I mean, we have to go to blog page, article cells. Wait. Question is, can I access the back somehow? No. Um, Where is this located though? I mean, like, docs are killing me. Oh, fuck. Nuts. Yeah, all right, that makes a lot of sense. Uh, that explains a lot. So, okay. What about the API side? I mean, you say nothing about the API side. I don't even think this is a good idea. Like, why would we? Ah, God. Okay. Jesus, make your mind up. All right, we SSH. Ugh, I need to take a break. Ugh. Okay. So, all right. So this is startup. I don't understand this PM startup thing. It's just driving me nuts. I don't get it. I don't see what they're talking about. Let's run it again, I guess. I mean, it's the same thing. I don't exactly. Well, there's nothing running. I don't understand. Like, uh, processor namespace not found. I don't understand. Um, Oh my fucking, come on. So PM start. Don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, God. Um, Fuck. Okay, I aired out. Why did I do that? Why do they do it like this? I just don't understand. Um, is really the error? This just makes no sense. Cool. What? what I thought. Okay. I don't think this works. Up.
Your Uncle John wants to know if you want to go have breakfast or lunch at the Pioneer Diner with.
Right now?
No, they're closed. Huh?
Yeah.
They're open till
Let's
only
do
open
it.
till 2.
Let's do it.
You need breakfast or lunch. Oh, okay, well, I have to communicate back to them. Yeah, good time.
Okay. I can do lunch. That'd be cool. Let me check my schedule.